Today I am rocking the scrunchie that I made because it is way too hot out here in Florida in the summer. And I am making another worm bin. The one I have right now is not working out. It's basically just a big planter. So I'm going to try this bucket worm bin and I'll show you what I'm doing. So first of all, I got some buckets. I would suggest to try to find some free ones, like local restaurants and things like that. They might give you a couple buckets. You're supposed to use 3. I'm going to start with 2 because that's what I got, and I'll add another one later. And how this works is the first bucket is just a bucket. I mean, I should clean it out, but this bottom bucket, no holes, no nothing, that is going to collect the worm tea, which I'll explain in another video, or maybe later in this one. But this bucket just stays as is. Done. Second bucket is where your worms and all your good stuff's gonna go, all your scraps. And what you'll do with this one is put some breathing holes at the top. I'll probably do another row or 2 here. Let me see if this covers it up. Yeah, I'm gonna add some more holes at some point. But for now, put some holes in the top so it can breathe, and then some holes in the bottom. So basically all the juices that come out of your compost will go down in those holes. Your worms will come up with all your scraps and stuff that you're adding, and eventually you'll add a third bucket on here and they'll keep going, and we'll keep swapping out buckets. Don't even come for me on my nails. It's a whole thing. So I'm gonna put second bucket into first bucket. Ta-da! The other things that I have are some scraps of paper. This is just junk mail, and I will say don't use anything glossy. Just keep it to this dry newspaper type print. Cut it up or rip it up in strips. It was real nice to rip everything up. Made me feel good. I got a shoebox full of rainwater I collected. It's already been like sifted out. And then this is crushed up eggshells. And this helps the worms digest because they don't have teeth. So this will help them. It's kind of like grit for chickens. And then I think this is cocoa core. I don't know. It came with another set of worms that I bought. My first set of worms I bought from Uncle Jim's. And if any of them are still surviving, I'm going to add them into this new batch. But these new batches are coming from somebody local, and I'll tag them somewhere. But this is a brick. And to use it for soil, you're supposed to soak it and all that stuff. But I don't want all of it. I'm just going to smack it. Maybe we'll try that. A softer approach. To throw that chunk in here and let it soften up. And I went to my other worm bin and got, that's a banana peel, there's a McDonald's bag I think in there, and some really nice compost. And there's some worms in there too. So I'm gonna put some paper in there. It's dried out a little bit, it's not sopping wet. Put that in the bottom. I'm gonna sprinkle in some of the eggshell dust. I'm gonna give some to my chickens in a second too. I'm gonna put in my soil from my other compost bin. Ooh, I see some worms in there. Mix that up a little bit. Use gloves if you want, but like, who does that? Alright, now, oh there we go. Now I've got some of this cocoa core softened up. I can add that into the mix. And I'll save the rest for my other bin. Oh yeah. I'm sitting in ants. don't want this to be too wet or too dry. It's got to be just right. And after this, I'm going to add some table scraps, and I don't even have my worms yet. I'm going to go get them in like an hour and bring them into their new home. See what this looks like. So your top bucket is like it's a big ant. Top bucket that has the holes in the bottom and around the top. That's got your cocoa coir, whatever. The cocoa husk stuff. It's got a little bit of compost from my other bin in there. It's got some food scraps. It's got a couple of worms, and then the bottom layer is mostly those strips of newspaper. You just give it like a little tumble. You don't want to disturb the worms too much. They're not super fragile, but you know, be careful. I am probably going to drill some more holes in the top just so there's a little bit more air circulation. Once I put my table scraps in, make sure this is on. And that's a worm bin. Echo worm.